What's up, guys? Getting ready to head up to the bike shop today and put the PAS system on, or the PedalAssist system on the racer. This is pretty much the final leg in this before it's ready for sale, and this is the only thing I have left to do. Other than that, this bike is ready. It's nice. I like the bike, and I'm sure whoever comes to own it next is gonna like it too. So let's head up to the bike shop and get this going, and I'll just show a little bit of what it takes to get this thing on. All right, let's do it. Welcome to the Cruiser Racer channel. I'm Rebel Lion of the Electron Rebels, and this is my creative space. I call it the Builder's Corner. The Builder's Corner is the home for electric bike enthusiasts. And in this space, we're always on the hunt for the perfect canvas. A canvas for me is a bike frame. Nothing excites me more than turning something old into something new. So if this appeals to you and you like what we like too, then subscribe to this channel. Here in the Builder's Corner, you'll learn about bike mechanics and DIY custom e-bike builds. Now, let's get to the show. So here we are at the bike shop, and I've got about an hour to spare before I get in to work on my own bike. So I decided to lend a hand and strip a few bikes. This is Robbie, and Robbie is my expert. Right now we're having a discussion about the bike rack. This is a very good bike rack. It's decent, but the bike that it's on is not decent at all. It's a pretty trashy bike. I really enjoy working and learning with Robbie. They're very knowledgeable about all sorts of bikes, and each time I work with them, I wind up taking something back and adding it to my knowledge collection. It's really good to work with someone who has so much knowledge, because stripping bikes requires knowledge. You need to understand what parts to salvage and what parts to just discard. So far it looks like the shifters are good to keep, but this right here is a bell and it doesn't work at all, so it's gotta go. Usually when I start stripping a bike, I start either from the front to the back or from the back to the front. So the brakes, the shifters, the stem, the fork, the tire, the rim are all things that we'll look at. This is the shop manager, Emily. It seems she also agrees that this rack is a good one to keep, so looks like we're all on the same page. Okay, so to recap what we've done so far, looks like we're going to go ahead and keep the fork, the rim, the tire, and the brake levers, which also house the gear shifters. When stripping, the one thing that we cannot keep are the cables. Unfortunately, the cables can't be refitted to every bike, so we have to discard them. These type of brake levers / gear shifters are gold for bike building. At this point, I'm doing a quick inspection on the discs to make sure that this wheel is worth keeping. Alright, my hour is up on me, and now it's time to get busy on installing the PedalAssist. One of the best tricks that I learned from Robbie so far is to use a pedal strap in order to tie down the pedals and keep them from moving when you're working with the bottom bracket area. That strap makes it much easier to loosen bolts and tighten bolts and nuts if you need them when working with this area. What I'm doing first is removing the crank arm. Next, I'll use a crank extractor tool to remove the chainring. When using a crank extractor tool, it's very important to be careful with the threading. The threading can get worn down and stripped if improperly threaded in, so you got to be careful. Now that I have the bottom bracket exposed on the right side, I'll move on over to the left and remove the crank arm on this side. Shifting to the bottom bracket tool, this is another trick Robbie's taught me to help get off the bottom bracket. The tool is a little tricky. Use a rod from an axle to tighten onto the tool so that it doesn't move around when you're trying to take it off from the bottom bracket. Here's yet another trick that Robbie's taught me to help take off something that is really tight or tighten something that takes a lot of leverage. Now this process took about 20 minutes to do, and as you see I've taken off my first layer and I'm sweating through my shirt trying to take this bottom bracket off. The problem that I'm running into is the bottom bracket seems to be seized onto the frame, and what I later found out once I got it off is that it was full of rust. The best way to strong arm rust is to douse it with a lot of lubricant. As you can see on the bench, the WD-40 can, I had to douse it heavily with lubricant in order to get that bottom bracket off. Once I got the bottom bracket off, I was able to inspect to see how much rust I was dealing with. Now I'm just using some steel wool or a scouring pad to clean up all the rust and lubricate once again so that I can put this all back together with no problem. That's lubricant, and I'm going to go ahead and rub it around all the parts. I'm going to go back in and steel wool or scour inside of the bottom bracket and then lubricate that as well. Okay, so now to get to the part that I am here for, installing the pedal assist system. So right now I'm mounting the pedal assist onto the frame. It goes through the bottom bracket, which then goes back on to the frame. This may take a little assistance because as I try to tighten it up, it wants to move around. So I've got another shop hand mic holding it in place so that I can get this on properly without this spinning around or moving out of range. Now that the pedal assist is mounted, I'm going to put on the sensor. You have to put this on properly because what these little metal magnets do is spin as you pedal, telling the pedal assist to give you power. I do apologize for the lubricant bottle sitting in front of the camera, but all I'm doing now is using the bottom bracket tool to tighten the bottom bracket back to the frame. Then I'll go ahead and put on the chain ring, and this will be done. The last thing I need to do is check my work, make sure that everything's mounted properly and all the parts are moving the way they should. But it seems that right now I'm having a problem with the motion of the pedals. The problem was the bottom bracket was too tight where I put the pedal assist on, so I had to loosen the left side in order for it to pedal properly. And all I had to do was loosen it a little bit, and it started pedaling just right. Well, that's the Builder's Corner for this week. I hope that you enjoyed the trip up to the bike shop as much as I did. I always learn so much when I'm there, and it's really great to be under instructors and people who are knowledgeable about bikes and everything in between. The pedal assist system is not normally a hard part to put on. However, if you don't have the right tools, you may need to take advantage of places that do, which I did. As far as the bike shop goes, it was my goal this week or this year to put myself in a position to where I can learn more and expand my knowledge and my skills in bike mechanics, and it is happening. So if you have a community bike shop or a local bike shop in your area that will allow you to come in and just give your time for their expertise, I strongly recommend doing that to help advance yourself in bike mechanics and in bike building as well. So once again, that was it. I enjoyed myself. I hope you did as well. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you on Monday for another Bike Talk episode. Have a great weekend. Until then, stay safe and ride easy. If you'd like to be part of our purpose, mission, and our journey, please consider becoming part of the Electron Rebels Bike Club. You can find links to the club in the description below. Ride easy.